In last year's Mamer, the Rabbi was pointing out how the fact that in Sof Lamata din Tachlis in Yishavus, you could see it in details in the Eifena Yishavus. You could see it in the fact that there's Bli Gvul, there's Nitzchias in the Yishavus. Which if you learn Nazay Shitchias, it seems like when you see a Pesach Hashpor in a mufladik way, in a way that it's Bli Gvul, there's Chilo a simon on the fact that it's in Sof. And that's why when I was reading later in the Mamer that the parade was Ashpov from Nor Rishin and then there's the Ashpov Teva Kedusha that could be mile of them, and then there's Ashpov Beribit to someone who's a Balisik, etc. It sounded like that was trying to point out the Erin Sof. And then it sounded like that once Pari was murdered and whatever it was, then he lost that whole Ashpah. The Poil, if you look in the Mamer, it's very clear that when the Rebbe is bringing the Dugmois for the Bracha to Pari and the evil in Mitzrayim, and later on in the Balisik, but afterwards in the Limit Torah, all the Dugmois for the Hashpah are not here to be Metayr Erin Sof. They're all here to be Metayr the Kfui Toiva. The Kfui Toiva, which therefore you can understand how much it's a Yerida, how low he is, what type of Tachtin he is, and therefore the fact that Erin Sof comes to him is a bigger Chiddush. So the Taichis a bit. Erin Sof means, let's go to the Nekudas Inyan again, then go to the Prat. Erin Sof means this is something which is shining the emes of the Eibishter. There's one emes of the Eibishter, and then there's a Hamshach of the Eibishter, which Toichne Muhusi of that Hamshach. What is it about? What is the Toichen of it? An expression of the pure emes of Eibishter. Even when the Poil, what he's doing is he's making a tzemach grow, the Toichen of that pool is a spashas of the emes of the Eibishter. Based on that, he's going to give the Ashpor. Not based on how much the tzemach needs, or based on how much the emes of Eibishter will come out. And since that's his toichen the whole time, you'll be able. That's the spashtos, that the way he's giving Ashpor is based on the emes of Eibishter. And there's the Gilui, you could realize that. What do you mean you could realize that? So next year's Mamer, the Rebbe Taichi says a bit more. When you realize how there's a hashkocha protis of the Eibishter on every prat. Every tzemach, in order to grow, has to have a specific amount of rain, a specific amount of sunshine, in order that it should grow. So you see that the hemshech hakim of something is constantly dependent on something higher. Now, that's just telling you that it's dependent to be guided and be sustained by something higher. But when you think into that, you'll realize why. Why am I dependent constantly on something higher? Because my whole mahus is dependent on something higher. These havus, the fact that something is yeshmiyayin, that brings out Erin Sof. The fact that something comes shalei al pi cheshbon klal, the koyach to have a yeshmiyayin is a koyach of Ein Sof. That brings out Ein Sof. The chayus could make you realize koyach Ein Sof, because you could realize the chayus, and then you realize in a much more clear way, because that happens constantly. Mashaying in these havus, you could just know al pi seichel, but you don't see it in front of your eyes. From the hashkocha pratis, you could then realize the fact that there's a koyach Ein Sof behind it that's mahavit. When you see something is bli gvul, has a koyach to go on endlessly. When you see something has a kiyum nitzchi, those are things which show you that what's in it is a emes. That's why there's no end how much he's going to produce. That's why there's no end to his existence. Because it's the emes of it. It's not the haflah shebedover, which is telling you emes about Ein Sof. It's punktas, the bli gvul, the nitzchis. That's indicating that behind it is Ein Sof. So in the chayis lo'ilamis, the mohus of the hashpah, what's behind it is Ein Sof. And it makes you able to realize it because by the hashpah, by the chayis, you'll realize it is a mahava. If it realizes a mahava, you'll realize it is Ein Sof. Mashengen, if you look at any hashpah meruba, just the fact that it's hashpah meruba, even mufla b'yeser. That's not bringing out Ein Sof. That's bringing out a great gili of Elikus. So let's say the Nor Rishon. The Nor Rishon, first of all, came down into Hashpah Gashmis. It was such a great Hashpah Gashmis, since it comes from the Nor Rishon, which is Mechuber to the Nor of Gan Eden, which is Tachlis Hatayim. So when it came down into Elam Haz, it came with Tachlis Hatayim, Begashmis. So you had Hashpah Meruba Begashmis. Hashpah Meruba Mufla doesn't show any Ein Sof. It's Hashpah Meruba. When they had the Hashpah of Toiv Kedusha, which again the Rebbe doesn't say anything about Ein Sof, Toiv Kedusha, in Yonim Nalim the Kedusha, that they got through the Yaakov being in Mitzrayim. So they were able to help the Yidden, and certain Nitzutzes in Mitzrayim were able to connect to Kedusha. They didn't their hair in Ein Sof, they had their hair of Kedusha. Not bringing out the Nekudas Emes of Elikus. The Mela. When you have someone who could have such a great hashpah, begashmis, knowing it's from the Eibishter, and beruchnius, he helps Yidden, and there's some certain nekudas in him that could come out and show how it's connected to Kedusha. And nevertheless, with that and after that, he could say, that just shows you what type of klippa he is. A klippa that a great hakora of Kedusha doesn't change him. A great hakora of Kedusha still leaves him in his place. The Mela, the fact that the Eibishter continues afterwards to be mashpiyah to Mitzrayim, and Eretz Mitzrayim, there's the hashpah of everything, of the tzmachim, of the chayis, of everything. There's a hashpah, consistent hashpah, and you're telling me that Ein Sof Lamada, the Tachlis, whatever is mushpa till the lowest bit, is all Muhusei Ein Sof. That shows you how Ein Sof could come out Lamada the Tachlis. Mit was sagt sich Haroiske? Was sagt sich Ein Sof, that the Teuchen and Muhus of the hashpah is Ein Sof. The Teuchen is the Emes of Eibishter, that's to how it gives the hashpah, where it gives the hashpah. Every Nekuda Pratis is based on the Nekuda Emes of Eibishter. Why is it Begili? The Pashas, the Rebbe also explains that at Parei, even after Ichbadet Yasli was able to do tshuva. Yeah. Was able to do tshuva. Pashas, the Avonis Adover is that if he would do tshuva out of fear that he was blocked from. But if he would decide to do Emes and tshuva, to realize that no, I did something wrong, therefore I regret what I did, he would be able to do it. And that's what Moshe was mastering. If he's staying in the same matzav as before, Elamai, Mipachad is going to do tshuva, does nicht. So, b'meila, he was able to be makir, the Eibishter, even in his low matzav. Yod Mitzrayim, although Yod is a shvira, but it's also Yod of Yediyah. There was some Yediyah of Elikus. What? Okay, it had to come through Episod Shvira. In order for Klippus at the Herel Elikus, there has to be Episod Shvira. But the Ein Sof is there, is mashpiyah to them. While they are in the matziv of Klippa of Menagi, not like what I said before, when there's a Menagi that's in Mevatla. That is what I was looking at. The Hashpah is Ein Sof. The Hashpah is this battle, whatever, because they're Menagi. But the Eish is still mashpiyah. And when he's mashpiyah, still Ein Sof. Yeah? The Mela, we see that Ein Sof comes Lamata, Mata, Adin Tachlis is such a low place, there can be such a Kvui Tov after such a Ribi Hashpah. Al derech zeh is the Rebbe says that we have the bayos by Yidden. A Baal Isaac that he's Yiddeya. Al derech that part is Havdal is Yiddeya so Rebbeinu B'chav on the Rebbe. He's Yiddeya that Birchas Hashem Yitash. He knows it. And what it sounds like with the Rebbe Marash, that when someone knows that Birchas Havai Yitash, he gets Hashpah Meruba B'Yisrael. Not Dafki when he's B'Shas HaIsek, when he sees it in the Isek. That's the Chisar, this Baal Isek, not just the fact that he Yoyz Ba'avosi when it happened, but L'chatchil is Yachas to the Isek, is Keichi B'etzim Yodi. But his Amunah, not when he comes to the Isek, stays Birchas Havai Yitash. So in Adam Yedea, the Birchas Havai Yitash, says the Rebbe Marash, Birach Havai V'Lekecha B'chol HaShetai, he gets a Ribi Hashpah. So he's Yedea Sri B'nei. He's someone who knows the Birchas Havai Yitash. And he gets a Ribi Hashpah, Shalei Leferach his investment. And nevertheless, he's a leif noch andere Sachen. Because in other words, it starts off from the fact that he wants things that he doesn't deserve, and therefore he convinces himself that the bracha that he got already is koiche v'yitzim yodi. And therefore he's ma'abed, whatever he has, by the different examples that he invests in things that he doesn't have to have. So he's kein lo yidei asri b'ayne b'chavan limrid b'ay, not mamash b'chav, but similar to that idea. He knows the birchas havai tash, and he got a ribi yashpa, because whoever knows that gets ribi yashpa. And then because he wants things that are not shaykh to him, so then he gets into the machshav of koichi v'yitzim yod, and he loses it. So he's like a kvui tov, like the dag of kvui tov. And on this we say leidach menu nidach. That says, why do we tell you about Pari, that there's an Erin Sof by Pari also? They tell you that if you're in the Madregas Pari, there's Erin Sof there. Where's the Kemen Shuvata? Kemen Shuvata, not just because he can go away, because where you are, you still have Ashpor from the Eibush, you still have Chayim Yim. And that Ashpor is still Hussi's Erin Sof. Can't this give in the Tzirikum? Cheir al derech zeh limud ha-Torah. So not b'shas limud ha-Torah, he knows that it's Torah Savayis. Again, he's Yidei Esri Beinei. And he's Baruch B'Torah Tchila. Before he starts learning, he reminds himself of the Eibish's Torah. But then, when he gets involved in the Torah, then he shecheach on this in the Torah. And he still has the Torah. The Torah comes to him in his matzah when he's not Zako, the Torah comes to him. But because Lo Yizachol, Lo Yizako, he doesn't have that Zakos, so yeah, so Mela what? So he has a likus that came to him, Elamai, it's not Zakus. But when he shechech on a likus, he still gets that hashpah of a likus. He still gets that primus, he still gets that Torah, the Torah of the Eibush that comes in to Eitz Hadas. But then as a result of that, Yochel Lipa Lamata Yeser, that his seichel covers and the likus and Aslei Samamovis. And Hogufa was because of his Kfiyus Tevin. Kol Zegul was because he knew that it's Teres Hashem, but nevertheless, when he sat and learned, he didn't focus on that. He looked at that as his own seichel, and therefore he came to Maskana Heipech Teira. So then he comes to he Lapoli Nasali Samamovis. So and that's his fault. But on his Kfiyus Teira. So the fact that even in such a massive Ein Sof is still there, is still Mashpia Chayis there. And it's begilui, and he could realize it. He could come to it. So that's mechazik l'idach amenu nidach. So the chus advarim is azoi, yeah? All the hashpos that he mentions in this Mamer, that's not the Ein Sof. The hashpos that he mentions in the Mamer, that's hashpos of kedusha. That Pari didn't acknowledge, wasn't thankful, which shows how much of a clip he is. And then it was even hashpos of Yonik Teiv kedusha, that they were mechaber them to Yidin, and they were able to, the Tzutzi Kedusha were able to use chaber to Kedusha, and they still didn't care. They still had Liyoy of any assassination. They're still Kviyatei. That shows how much of a clip it is. As the Kush shined and it doesn't talk to him, it has to be a very grubby clipper. And nevertheless, the Ashpos, Achayim, Bechlal, that Eibush, they continued giving him Mitzrayim, was Ein Sof. And in the way, the Chayr that the Yodam Mitzrayim, that's the State Nishklor, but the Chayr, the fact that the Yodam Mitzrayim, they could come to the recognition. He knows that Birchas Havai Yitashim, and therefore he's going to get it. It's not a Gilead Sof. It's not Bligul. It's just a Ribi Yotz. And because he wants things that are not shaykh to him, he forgets that thankfulness, and therefore he gets convinced that Koichi Veitzim Yodi. So he's like a Kvui Toiv. But nevertheless, he's so you take a clues a lot and get into Sakana. But still, whatever Ashpo he gets is still Ein Sof. And he can find it. He can get into the Derech Sadei Limit Torah. He gets Ashpo of Likus coming down to him. In the fact that in Teino, in Eitzadas, in the fact that he's a bit so yes, the Torah comes. So he's also first of all he's a Yidei Asri he's Baruch B'Torah Tchila. He knows that it's Eibush's Torah. And nevertheless, when he gets involved in the Torah, he looks at it as his Seichel. And the Torah comes there. In the Levush Teino. In the Eitzadas, he comes there. But because that Lo Yizocha, it could go lower, that it should be Samei B'Chachai. And that's beside this Kfiyus Teva. In other words, he knew in the back of his mind it's David should say it, and he wasn't thinking about that. He wanted to be Miyachas at his own Seichel. And because of that, he pulled it down and he covered on the likus totally. Nevertheless, he has to read in Sof. Nevertheless, the Ashpod he gets a still in Sof and Vayidach Ben Nidach. Yeah? Okay, Al-Pizah had a bit of a difficulty. Okay, but a lot of this is Titzos from people asking. And whatever, it makes you think again. But earlier in the Mamer, he says, what's the word that the Gimel Elam is B'yar Levushim, not Pshat, the one's Nimshach to the other, the all Levushim to Atzilus. And because they're all Levushim to Atzilus, because the Imi Elam Kana B'Grosaya, and Shitzfirim B'Yitzira, B'Him Ba'asiyah, so since they're all Levushim, the Mela Eidens of Lamata Din Tachlis is an all Elam is B'yah, not just on the Elam HaBriyah. The Gilui of Atzilus, that doesn't bring out Eidens Sof. Gilui of Bina, Midis, of Malchus, that doesn't bring out Eidens Sof. So what does that have to do with the fact that there's a Atzilus Melubish in them directly to the fact that Eidens of Lamata Din Tachlis? So, I'm not sure, but it could be, as the word is, we're trying to say there's different stages in the Chidush of Eretz of Lamata Din Tachlis. So Atzilus and Lamaila equally are not a Chidush. Now, Bria is a Chidush. There's a lower Chidush in the Mazolis. That's Misavu Mizgashim. There's a lower Chidush in Klipas Pari. In the Klipas Pari. That stage of the Chiddush of coming into Bria, there it's already a Chiddush, Lamata Din Tachlis. So maybe the word is that we want to say that it's equally a Chiddush in all three of them. Since all three of them are Levushim for Atzilus, so yeah, it's Taki a Chiddush, Lamata Din Tachlis, but it's the same Chiddush. And all three of them is equally the same Chiddush, because just like in Atzilus, it's Nishke Chiddush equally to Erin Sof, to Elam Sof. Why? Because it's Batul B'Tachlis. Bria is the Chiddush. It's already a Yesh, already a Metzias. But since all three of them are equally Levushim for Atzilus, so they're all equally one Chiddush. When we say Lamata Din Tachlis, and the first step that we could say is Bria, so it's not just Bria, Bia. Bia is that first step that we say Lamata Din Tachlis. What does it refer to? Bia. Why Bia? Because Bia, equally, all of them are Levushim for Atzilus. Atzilus is Meir, Amislabesh. Even in Asiya, the Mela, the fact that Eretz of Lamata Din Tachlis, when we say it on Bria, it refers equally to Bia. But the Poyel, we say Eretz of Lamata Din Tachlis lower also. We say it on the Mazolas that come into the Tzamach, and there in the Mazolas we don't say that anything's Mekanen over there, that Atzilus is Mekanen there. And definitely not in Klipas Pari. So Chelik Mata Din Tachlis could go lower also. But that stage, that Chiddush of the Mata Din Tachlis, we could say equally on Bia. I'm not 100% clear about this. Yeah? If you have a better beer, let me know. But that's what it seems to me.